Welcome to C and C++ programming under APG Pathshala. Today we will start with module 36 C++ IO system basics. Till now we have written many programs where the input and output was involved. We have used the statements cin and cout to do the input and output operations. In C++, input and output operations are performed using the streams. Streams are basically used for input and output data operations. Any input and output devices can be connected to these streams. Streams can be thought of as a series of characters where the data can be written or data can be read. In C++, the abstraction is provided for the use of streams. That is, the internal details on how the physical device of input and output is going to work is hidden from the user. User will just use the streams to read and write the data to any physical devices. By default, the keyboard is treated as an input device and the screen is treated as an output device. In streams, one end of the stream is connected to the input device or the output device. If it is an input stream, then the keyboard will write the data into one end of the stream and the program will read this particular data. If it is an output stream, then our program will write the data into one end and the screen will display it on the other end. Instead of monitor and keyboard, we can use or we can connect any other physical device. Streams are basically used with the system defined or built-in data types, but we can make it to use for user defined data types also. To make it to work for user defined data types, we have to overload the operators which are insertion operator and extraction operator. Now let's start with our module and see into the details of input and output. In C++, the input and output is offered as a component of the standard library. The C++ standard libraries present widespread set of input and output facilities which are most commonly used for input and output operations. The input and output in C++ language mostly occurs in streams, which are nothing but sequence of bytes. In general, the streams perform two types of operations. They are input and output operation. Slide number 4. Now let's see the learning objectives of this particular module. We are going to learn about stream classes of C++. We will know about predefined standard input and output streams. We will study about functions of iStream class. We will study about functions of oStream class. The stream classes of C++. The C++ includes the hierarchy of classes called as stream classes that are mainly used to describe various streams to deal with console and disk files. The stream classes are stated in the IOStream or iostream.h header file. The stream classes of C++ are given in the following figure. In the figure, it is clear that iOS is a base class for iStream, that is the input stream, and it is a base class for oStream, which is the output stream. It is again treated as a base class for StreamBuff, which is a buffered stream. Now, in the figure, as you can see, the IOStream is a class which is inherited from iStream and oStream. This IOStream is again used inside the IOStream with assign class, whereas iStream with assign is derived from iStream class and oStream with assign is derived from oStream class. Now this is a table which is showing us the stream class and their functionality. The iOS class is basically used to do the input and output operations. iStream class basically provide the services for input methods. The oStream class will provide the services for output methods. StreamBuff class will be used for the buffered input output. It provides the methods of the class for loading the contents of the buffer, access the contents of the buffer and flush the contents of the buffer and organizing the memory of the buffer. With assign classes, there are three with assign classes. These are basically iStream with assign, oStream with assign and IOStream with assign. FileBuff classes. FileBuff classes will try to give you all the functions or the operations which are related to files. StreamBuff class will try to give you the functions or the operations which are related to memory. Now let's see the predefined standard input and output streams. C++ language consists of 4 streams that are mainly defined for standard input and output. The two operators, that is extraction operator and insertion operator, are overloaded and are defined on basic or primary data types. It is also possible to overload the extraction and insertion operators on the user defined data types, but it can be possible for specific objects of the class. Standard input stream, that is CIN. The iStream class supports the methods for input of formatted data as well as unformatted data. The CIN object of iStream class along with extraction operator is mainly used for input of primary types. It is possible with the CIN object to overload the extraction operator for the user defined types, but it can be used for the class of input object. In general, the operator, which is an extraction operator, is basically a bitwise right shift operator which is overloaded to do the process of extraction operation. Since after each and every extraction operation, the extraction operator tries to send a reference back to CIN, therefore it allows cascading operation and it is possible to extract a quantity of values written one after another and each of them lead to extraction operator. The syntax is CIN extraction operator variable 1, extraction operator variable 2 and so on, and last extraction operator variable n. Now in this particular syntax, the variable 1, variable 2 and variable n are valid C++ variable names. The example is CIN roll number, extraction operator name, extraction operator total. Now let's see a simple program to see the usage of CIN object and extraction operator. We'll start with the program hash include iostream using namespace std. Now we'll start with our main function integer main. Here we'll declare the variables as integer number 1, double number 2, char ch and char grade 30. So we have taken one integer, one double, one character and character array, and we'll see how the input is taken and output is displayed in this particular program. We'll display the message to the user: cout enter the value of number 1, CIN number 1, cout enter the value of number 2, CIN number 2, cout enter the value of ch1, CIN ch1, cout enter a grade, CIN grade, cout the data that is entered is endl. Cout number 1 is a text which is equal to, that is enclosed into the double quotes, and then the value of number 1. So just see this particular cout statement in detail as cout number 1 text, the value of number 1, again the extraction operator number 2 in quotes equal to the value of number 2, then ch1 is equal to value of ch1 and grade is equal to the value of grade and endl. So as you can see, this is a cascading cout statement where the text and the values of the variables are displayed one after the another, and our program will end. So here we have seen the usage of the CIN object and the extraction operator, and we have seen the cascading cout statement also. When the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter the value of number 1, suppose the entered value is 10, enter the value of number 2, that is minus 20, enter the value of ch1, suppose the entered character is z, and enter a grade, suppose the grade entered is excellent, because grade here is an character array. Then it will display the message as the data that is entered is number 1 is equal to 10, number 2 equal to minus 2, ch1 equal to z and grade equal to excellent. Now we will see standard output streams. The cout object of ostream class is used for standard output along with overloaded insertion operator. To do the process of insertion operation of basic data type, the operator, which is the insertion operator, is a bitwise left shift binary operator is overloaded. The cout object can be used for user defined data, but it is must that the overloading functions for operator, insertion operator are to be described by the programmer for the class of the objects being that are dealt with. Since after each and every insertion operator, the insertion operator tries to return the value of reference to the object of ostream class, that is cout, therefore allows the cascading of string objects which helps to write a number of outputs in the same output statement. The syntax is cout, the insertion operator atom 1, insertion operator atom 2, insertion operator atom n. Now in this particular syntax, the atom 1, atom 2, atom n are the variables of fundamental data types or the constants of fundamental data type. Example, cout, the value of the variable name of customer, the string paid rupees in double quotes, the value of price for in double quotes, value of customer number, mangoes in double quotes, and endl. Now let's see a simple program to see the standard output stream. We'll start with the program hash include iostream using namespace std. We'll start with our main function integer main. Here we will declare the variables as integer customer number equal to 401, double price is equal to 1000.5, character flag is equal to f, and char name of customer is equal to Dipali. So here we are trying to take the variable of each and every built-in data type as integer, double, character and character array. Now we will display the message to the user on the screen as cout, the text flag is, the value of the flag endl. So now here just look at this particular cout statement. It is displaying the message as flag is in double quotes and the value of flag. Now the second cout statement is a big cascading cout statement. It is basically cout, the value of name of customer in double quotes, which is a text paid rupees, the value of price for is again the text, customer number value, and mangoes is again the text endl, and our program will end. So here it will display the cout cascading result as the name of the customer will be the customer name that is entered by the user, paid rupees will be the message, the price will be given by the user or that is given to the price field or price variable, then customer number which is assigned to customer number, and mangoes will be the text field. Now when the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as Dipali paid rupees 1000.5 for 401 mangoes. So as you can see, this cascading cout statement has displayed a message with proper values inserted and one complete line of text is displayed. And before this line of text, it will display first the message flag is f. Now let's see a standard error stream cerr, CERR. The cerr, which is predefined object, is an instance of ostream class that corresponds to the standard error stream. It is related with the cstdio stream stderr. The cerr object is said to be connected to the standard error device, which is display screen or monitor, but since the cerr object is unbuffered, therefore each stream insertion to cerr causes its output to come into view instantly. The cerr object can also be used in combination with the stream insertion operator. By default, most of the systems have their regular error output, which is set to the console where the text message are displayed, even though this can normally be forwarded. Because cerr is an predefined object of ostream class, it is possible to write the characters to it either as formatted data with the help of the insertion operator or as unformatted data with the help of the write member function. Now let's see a simple program to see the usage of standard error stream. We'll start with the program hash include iostream using namespace std. We'll start with our main function. Here we'll declare our character array as character text opening closing square bracket is equal to in double quotes the text string unable to read the content. Now we'll display this error message using the statement cerr. So here just notice that cerr statement is used, which is cerr error message colon the value of text and endl, our program will end. So here when this particular program is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as error message colon unable to read the content. Now let's see the concept of a clog. The clog, which is predefined object, is an instance of ostream class which represents the standard logging stream. The clog object is said to be connected to the standard error device, which is a display screen, but because the predefined object clog is buffered, therefore each insertion to the clog might affect its output to be seized in a buffer until the buffer is full or until the buffer is flushed. The CLOG object can also be used in combination with the stream insertion operator. It is linked with the C stdio stream std_err like C_err. By default, the majority of the systems have their normal error and logging output, which is mostly going to the console where the text messages are displayed, even though this can usually be forwarded. Since CLOG is a predefined object of OStream class, it is possible to write characters to it either as formatted data with the help of the insertion operator or as unformatted data with the help of the write member function. Now let's see a program to see the usage of CERR, that is CERR, and CLOG objects. We'll start with our program #include iostream. Using namespace std, we'll write a test function first as void test. We'll declare the variable as integer n is equal to 0. Now we will take a value from the user as n. We'll display the message to the user as cout, enter the number, cin n. Now we'll display the message using CERR and CLOG as CERR test for CERR and CLOG test for CLOG, and our function will end. Now we will start with our main program. We'll start as integer main. Here inside the main program, we'll again declare one more integer as I. Integer I is equal to 0. Cout, enter the number, cin I. Now we will display the messages using CERR and CLOG object as CERR test for CERR and CLOG test for CLOG, return 0, and our main program will end. Now when this particular program will be compiled and executed, it will produce the output as, first it will ask for enter the number. Suppose the entered number is 3, then it will display the message test for CERR and test for CLOG. Then it will ask again for the number as enter the number. Suppose the number entered is 2, then it will display the message as test for CERR and test for CLOG. Now let's see a program to see the usage of CLOG object. We'll start with the program #include iostream using namespace std. Now here we will declare our class of test as class test, integer number which is private by default. Now here we'll write in a public section the constructor and the destructor as test, which is a constructor. Inside that CLOG static constructor is a message that we are going to display. Our constructor will end, then the destructor will start, which is test. Will display the message CLOG static destructor. Our destructor will end and our class will end. So this particular class contains one data member which is integer number and two member functions, one constructor and one destructor. Now we will declare the object of this particular class as test t1, which is basically a static object. We will start with our main program as integer main. Here we will display the message CLOG, the main function, and our program will end. Now when the above program is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as, first it will display static constructor, then it will display main function, and then it will display the message static destructor. Now let's see the functions of iostream class. Some of the most commonly used functions of iostream class are get, getLine, ignore, peek, putback, and gcount. Now let's see each one of them in detail. First we will see the function get. The get function is a member function of a iostream class which is mainly used to read a single character from an input device. The different ways of using the get function are get function with no arguments, get function with a character argument, get function with 2 arguments, and get function with 3 arguments. First we will see get function with no arguments. The get function with no arguments tries to enter one character from the selected streams including white space, and it tries to return the characters as the value of the function call. When end of file on the stream is encountered, it tries to return end of file. Example, cin.get char ch1. Here we can write the function as ch1 is equal to cin.get. Now let's see a program to see the usage of get function with no arguments. We will start with our program #include iostream using namespace std. We will start with our main function as integer main. we'll declare here the variable as character ch1. We'll display the message to the user, cout enter the character. Now we are going to take a character using the get function as ch1 is equal to cin.get opening closing bracket. So there are no arguments and the input is taken using the get function. Now we'll display the message to the user as cout, the character that is entered is equal to is a text field, the value of ch1 and endl, return 0, our program will end. When the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter a character. If the character entered by the user is z, then it will display the output as the character that is entered is equal to z. Now let's say a get function with a character argument. A get function with a character argument tries to enter the next character from the input stream, including white space. When end of file EOF on the stream is encountered, it tries to return false. It tries to return a reference to the object of iStream class for which the get member function is being invoked. The example is char ch1 cin.get in bracket ch1. Now let's see a program to implement the use of get function with a character argument. We'll start with our program hash include iostream using namespace std. We'll start with our main function integer main. Here we'll declare one character as char ch1. We'll display the message to the user, enter a character. Now we'll take the input using the get function as cin.get in bracket ch1. We'll display the message on the screen as cout, the character that is entered is a text field and the value of ch1. cout/n, return 0 and our program will end. Now when the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter a character. Suppose the character entered is z, then it will display the message as the character that is entered is z. Now let's see a get function with two arguments. The get function with two arguments tries to read first n-1 characters one after another into the buffer. The last character is the null, that is /0 character, which indicates the end of string and gets attached by the string. Syntax cin.get in bracket char star buffer comma size tn and semicolon. Example is char name 20 cin.get in bracket name comma 6. So here 6 characters will be read and it will be buffer or stored inside the variable character array name. Now let's see a program to implement the usage of get function with two arguments. We'll start with our program hash include iostream using namespace std. Now we'll start with our main function as integer main. We'll declare the variables here as integer n is equal to 0, character name 20. We'll display the message to the user, cout enter name. Now we'll take the input using the get function as cin.get name comma 6 and colon. Here whatever input user gives, it will just accept first 5 characters of that particular input and it will be stored inside the array name. Now we'll display the message to the user as cout name that is entered is text and the value of name endl and our program will end. Now when the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter a name. Suppose the entered name is Sherlock, so it will display the message as name that is entered is only 5 characters of this particular input will be displayed, that is SHERL, because the input is taken first 5 characters. Other characters will be ignored by the compiler. Now let's see the get function with 3 arguments. The syntax of this is cin.get char star buffer size tn char delimiter. In the above syntax, the n-1 is the highest number of characters that may be read. It also consists of a delimiting character, that is char delimiter. If the delimiter character is met, then the function stops reading the further characters even though the number n-1 is not reached. Example is character buffer opening closing square bracket is equal to the string example of getLine function in CPP. Now the character ch1 is equal to hash cin.getLine buffer comma 15 comma ch1. Here the input will be accepted till hash or till first 14 characters, whichever meets first. Now let's see a program to implement the usage of get function with 3 arguments. We'll start with our program hash include iostream using namespace std. We'll start with our main program as integer main char ch1 is equal to hash, which is a delimiting character text1 is 30, which is a character array. We'll display the message to the user as cout enter a text1. We'll take the input using the get function as cin.get text1 20 ch1. So it will accept first 19 characters or till the delimiter, which is hash, which is reached. Cout, the text will be displayed on the screen as the text that is returned is the value of a text1 endl, and our program will end. Now when the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter a text1. Suppose the text entered is this is my first program in CPP on IO hash basics. Then the output will be displayed as the text that is written is this is my first program. Now here only first 20 characters is accepted from the program, other characters are ignored by the program. And the hash is a delimiter character which is after 19 characters, so that is again delimited or ignored by the compiler. Now let's see the next function, which is a getLine function. The getLine function works like that of a get function, that is it tries to add a null character after the line in the character array. It eliminates the delimiter from the stream, but it does not store it in the character array. It is a must that a getLine function has to be used with an object of iStream class, and it is mainly useful to read a complete line. The getLine function can have 2 or 3 arguments. The syntax is getLine char star s comma stream size n semicolon or getLine char star s stream size n comma character delimiter semicolon. The example is char buffer square bracket is equal to in double quotes the string example of getLine function in CPP, char ch1 is equal to hash cin.getLine buffer comma 20 cin.getLine buffer comma 15 comma ch1. Now let's see a program to see the usage of getLine function. We'll start with our program hash include iostream using namespace std. We'll start with our main function as integer main. We will declare one variable as char text 50. We'll display the message to the user cout enter the text. Now the input will be taken using the getLine function as cin.getLine in bracket text comma 30. Now we will display the message to the user as cout the entered text is cout text return 0, and our program will end. Now when the above program is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter the text. Suppose the text entered by the user is hello world, then it will display the output as the entered text is hello world. Now let's see the ignore function. The ignore function reads and it tries to reject up to n characters or up to the reading of the delimiter character or end of file, whichever occurs first. The default value of n is 1. The syntax is cin.ignore in bracket stream size n comma integer delimiter. Now let's see a program to implement the usage of ignore function. We'll start with our program hash include iostream using namespace std. We'll start with our main function integer main. We'll declare 2 characters as character first name comma last name. We'll display the message to the user as enter first name and last name. First name is equal to cin.get. Now we will use the ignore function as cin.ignore 30 comma space. Last name is equal to cin.get. Now we'll display the message as cout the initial letters are first name, last name and endl, return 0, end of the program. So here whatever is the first name and the last name that is entered by the user, it will just accept the first character of first name and last name. Other characters will be completely ignored by the program. Now when the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter the first name and last name. Suppose the user entered the values as Vivian Richards, then it will display the message as the initial letters are VR. The other letters will be ignored by the program. Now let's see the peek and putback function. The peek function returns the next character from an input stream, but it does not take out the character from the stream. Example, cin.peek in bracket capital H. The putback function tries to return the formerly read character to the input stream. The syntax is putback in bracket character C semicolon. Example, char ch is equal to d in single quotes, cin.peek in bracket in single quotes capital F, cin.putback ch semicolon. Now let's see a program to implement the usage of peek and putback functions. We'll start with our program, hash include iostream using namespace std, integer main. We'll declare the character as char ch1, cout, enter a sentence. Now we'll have a while loop as while cin.get ch1, opening braces, if ch1 is equal to a, cin.putback z, else cout ch1, end of while loop and end of main program. So here it is going to accept the sentence from the user, and whenever it finds a, it will be replaced by z using the putback function. Now when the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter a sentence. Suppose the entered sentence is this basket contains 1000 apples, then the output will be this basket contains 1000. Instead of a, it will be replaced by z pearls. Now let's see the read function. The read function is a member function of iStream class and is mainly used with input streams such as cin.read. It comes under the category of unformatted input function. The read function does enter into the memory some bytes without any formatting. The syntax is read in bracket char star s, comma, stream size n semicolon. The example, char text 15, which is a character array, cin.read text comma 15. The next is gcount function. The gcount is a member function of iStream class which tries to return the number of unformatted characters that is last extracted. Syntax is stream size gcount, opening closing braces, constant semicolon. Now let's see a simple program to see the usage of read and gcount functions. We'll start with our program, hash include iostream using namespace std, constant integer length 100. We'll start with our main function, integer main. Here we'll declare the character array as character text length, which will be of length 100, cout enter text endl, cin.read text comma 25, cout the text that is entered is endl, cout.write text dot cin.gcount, opening closing braces, cout endl and end of the program. Now when the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as enter text. Suppose the enter text is this is my first program on gcount function, then it will display the message as the text that is entered is this is my first program. So first 25 characters will be only written back on the screen. Now let's see the functions of OStream class. Some of the most commonly used functions of OStream class are put and write. The put function is a member function of OStream class. It is mainly used to write a character to output device. The put function is used with the object of OStream class. The syntax is put in bracket character C. Example is cout.put in bracket ch1. The next is a write function. The function write is a member function of OStream class and is mainly used with output streams such as cout.write. It comes under the category of unformatted output function. The write function output of a number of bytes from the character array in the memory without any formatting. The syntax is write in bracket constant char star s, stream size n semicolon. Example is character text 30, cout.write text comma 30. Now let's see a program to see the usage of read and write functions. We'll start with our program, hash include iostream using namespace std. We'll start with our main function. Now there are too many declarations, so each and every output we'll see in detail. First we'll declare the character array as character sentence go to playground. cout.write sentence comma 13 dot put slash n. Now here it will display only first 13 characters of go to playground. Okay, that will be the first output. Now char ch1 is equal to a, cout ch1 is equal to is a text, cout.write ch1 1 and l. So the second message that will be displayed is ch1 is equal to a. Now next is char ch1 is equal to a b c d e f g h I j o. Now we are writing on the screen as cout.write ch1 comma 5 and l. So now out of this a b c d e, first 5 characters will be displayed on the screen. Now we are declaring the character array as char text 30. Cout, we are displaying the message to the user as enter the text. We are taking the input as scene.read text comma 30. So here the message or the line will be entered by the user and we are going to accept the first 30 characters of that input. Now we are writing on the screen as cout.write text comma 30 and l. So these 30 characters will be displayed on the screen and return 0. Our main program will end. Now when the above code is compiled and executed, it will produce the result as the first is go to play grow, GRO, till play grow the output will be displayed. The second will be ch1 is equal to a. The third one will be a b c d e, which will be displayed on the screen. Then it will display the message to the user, enter the text. Suppose the user enter the text as this is a program on read and write functions. Then it will display the 30 characters of this particular input, that is this is a program on read opening closing bracket an. It will stop there and there itself. Now let's summarize our module on C++ IO system basics. As we have seen in this module, C++ includes a hierarchy of classes called as stream classes that are mainly used to describe various streams to deal with console and disk files. The stream classes are stated in the IOStream or iostream.h header file. The iOS class is a base class for the iStream and OStream classes. The cin is mainly used to get the input from the standard input device such as keyboard. The cout is mainly used to display the output onto standard output device such as monitor or screen. The cerr is mainly used for standard error to display on monitor or screen. The clog is mainly used for buffered error to display on monitor. The get function is a member function of iStream class and is mainly used to read a single character from an input device. The getLine function eliminates the delimiter from the stream but does not store it in the character array. The put function is mainly used to write the character to output device. The ignore function reads and it tries to reject up to n characters or up to the reading of delimiter character or end of file, whichever occurs first. The pick function returns the next character from an input stream, but it does not take out the character from the stream. The putback function tries to return the formerly read character to the input stream. The read function does not enter into the memory some bytes without any formatting. The gcount is a member function of stream class which tries to return the number of unformatted characters that is last extracted.